My instinct's telling me to hit him, but he's my buddy, so I can't. Hi guys, my name is Joe, and welcome to Fighting Words, the martial arts library. On this channel I review martial arts books and talk about other martial arts related subjects. This is a segment that I refer to as Media Fight Monday. So on the first and third Mondays of every month, I pick a fight scene from a movie, TV, animation, etc. I sort of review it, and then I give it a grade based on realism and storytelling value. So this week we are doing a fight scene from Fist of Legend from 1994. Fist of Legend, if you haven't seen it, has a lot of really fun, really notable martial arts fights in it. Now, our two characters in this, we have Jet Li playing Chen Zhen, and we have Chen Zhen playing Hou Ting-An. Please forgive my pronunciation. This is far from my native language. The scene itself was choreographed by Yuen Wu Ping, who has done the Kill Bill series, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Just the man is a legend in fight choreography, and actually is a pretty good director too. As far as their martial arts background goes, Mr. Li was actually a wushu champion, and I kept trying to find more about Mr. Chen's background. He began training martial arts at a young age. I couldn't find out what specific style. It may have also been wushu, but I'm unsure about that. Now, to set our scene, these two guys have been training partners. They are Kung Fu brothers, part of the same organization. Despite that, things have sort of come to a head. Mr. Li's character has sort of gained a tremendous reputation after, fighting a bunch of ne'er-do-wells. Beating a Japanese martial arts champion. Now, this is set in 1937, so this is during the Japanese occupation of China. So that's sort of actually key to the story. And Mr. Chen's character has sort of become jealous of that, and also he's taking an opportunity to take over the school because Mr. Li's character is romantically involved with a Japanese girl, which is a social no-no at this point in time. Mr. Li's character, his style of fighting is supposed to be very modernized. So even though he has traditional roots and they've trained at the same school, what you're going to actually see is going to more closely resemble something like kickboxing or Jeet Kune Do, while Mr. Chen's character will be relying on something closer to traditional Chinese Kung Fu. So they're in their stances. Now, with most of the weight on the back leg, that actually allows you to kick pretty well with the lead leg. Rushing from way too far away, he's throwing vertical fist punches, back fists. Spinning back fist is a really dangerous technique. If it lands, it can be a knockout shot. The thrusting punches he's doing are also good attacks, and right now, Li is on the defensive. So mostly we can see Li is just blocking, and I think this is largely, from a character point of view, he doesn't want to fight his Kung Fu brother, who's, we're seeing the strength of his techniques because he's like beating up pottery. So we got jumping kicks, spinning kicks. Now, one thing I will note, most of those punches are actually way too far away to land. So that takes away from the realism a bit. Right now we're getting into sort of a trapping sequence, maybe not a traditional form of trapping, but he is tying up his arms. And that is a kick with an exaggerated effect, but of course our hero has tremendous athletic ability. So he'll just do like one arm push-ups while the guy's trying to kick him. But again, he's really staying on the defensive. Those are really the only two shots that he's eaten so far, was a kick and a straight punch. Here we go back to the traditional, I know in Japanese it's called the cat stance. Not sure what you would call it in Chinese martial arts. Now from this extended position, it's very difficult to launch hand attacks. You kind of could with that. Alright, so he had to actually recoil to begin his attack. So again, Lee is trying to restrain him, and you see he's a sort of foot trapping. That's a good character moment right there. That was some foot trapping, which is designed to freeze the guy's leg in place or to off-balance him. And again, you can see that he's pretty much still on the defensive. He's pressuring the guy's limbs and making it difficult for Mr. Chen to offer any offense. But we see in this sequence, it's like, my instinct's telling me to hit him, but he's my buddy, so I can't. And I really like that as a character moment. Of course, his buddy takes advantage. Again, I'm not going to hit you, I'm not going to hit you. I could totally hit you, but I'm not going to. I love that. Again, good character stuff. So his buddy takes advantage, gets some more shots in, mostly straight punches, straight kick. And that's Jet Li's girl, who's, oh no. And his former buddies are now cheering on the other guy. His girl's sort of like, no, I can't be proud of you in this moment. So now, violating the bros before hoes code, which is silly, but now he's like, okay, I'm shaming my girl, who sort of shamed herself to get him out of a bad situation. So now he's like, okay, I gotta make this serious. Wham! And of course we got the wire work, which is why old boy goes flying back. And again, we see these more traditional positions, and it's sort of difficult to launch certain offense from there. But Jet Li's taking up a southpaw stance, and he's doing more dancing. And here we have, again, a more traditional on-guard position from Mr. Chen. So anyone who's seen Bruce Lee's movies will recognize some of Jet Li's footwork right now. But he's jumping in from, frankly, way too far away. He's missing with all of his strikes. Jet Li's nice and loose. Counters with a punch, body punches, head punch. You see he faked a high punch to get his arms up, then he hit the body. And again, this is more of like a boxing or kickboxing style of offense. One thing I think that we're doing well with this sequence is we are incorporating feint into what's going on. Feint is, faking at one target in order to open up an opportunity to hit at another. So again, dodging, that was straight punch and a hook. Fakes, blocks the kick. Fakes because he knows the kick is coming. And he's slipping, ducking, blocking the punches, and then getting his own offense in. Now here's the thing. A bunch of bare knuckle punches to the face, we should be seeing like some bruises and cuts at this point. Charges forward, punches and kicks, jumping kick. That's interesting. They were both actually in a movie before this, the Tai Chi Master, I think. And this resembles a Tai Chi position. I think it's called single whip. And I wonder how intentional that was. Big swing. Nothing. Outside crescent kick hits nothing. That's interesting. He got his hands up by faking an outside crescent kick and then got a thrust side kick to the body. Now we're seeing some facial damage. Getting some stance switching. And his buddy figures out, like, okay, so if you're going to be that light on your feet, I'm going to take advantage of that. And he does. He times him and is able to get sort of a sweeping kick. Tornado kick, followed by a sweep, which is countered by, I guess, basically a handstand kick. Now we're seeing a little concussive damage. He's getting a little punch drunk. Okay, so that was a good kicking sequence. He blocked his kick with his leg and then attacked his supporting leg. I like that. And he continues to block his kicks and return with kicks of his own. Jet Li is blocking Chen's kicks and is returning with his own kicks. It's like a side kick followed by a spinning back kick. You're not going to see that sort of movement with that force. That's not very realistic. And now we see the regret on Jet Li's face. Like, I didn't mean to hurt him that much. Also, he's clearly done. So, how do we grade this? As far as realism goes, I liked most of the moves. I didn't think a lot of the effects were realistic. We're seeing guys get knocked around. There's clearly some wire work going on, but mostly only when it comes to being hit and being thrown back like, 3 or 4 yards. I think it is realistic to, dodge punches, then hit the guy with back fists, and, most of the moves they were using were realistic. I think jumping kicks will use a lot of energy, and they do have the potential for a tremendous amount of damage. We don't typically see people go for them very much. I don't think we would have seen that many jumping kicks in a legit fight. Even by somebody with a style that sort of specialized in those things. B minus. I'm taking a lot off for mostly the excessive, being thrown back that far kind of stuff. And again, more jump kicks than I would expect. But as far as like the close-in stuff, it made sense. Some of like the standing grappling was, mostly just like shutting down the guy's arms or, tying the guy up. That's not unheard of. Some of the leg trapping I thought was neat, and you can kind of see it in different environments. I think it was more played up, less realistic, but had elements of realism to it. So yeah, as far as storytelling goes, really good actually. As far as the flow of the fight, because of course at first we get Jet Li really not wanting to, he's completely on the defensive. I don't want to fight this guy. He's my buddy. And then we see him shutting down his offense like, oh, I'm going to hate you, but I don't want to. And finally we see him get to the point he's like, okay, I got to be serious about this. We see both guys sort of learning what the other guy is going to offer them as far as offense and figures out ways to counter that. We see that a few times. So, I think that works well. I think we get some good character moments in there. Solid A for storytelling. Like I said, I really enjoy this movie. I would say that this has 3 standout fights. This is one of them. There's also one at the beginning of the movie where, Jet Li takes on a bunch of Japanese students who are trying to attack Chinese students. And he uses a bunch of, in Chinese it's called Chin Na, which is seizing and controlling. It's basically joint locks. And, he just takes out all these guys with like joint lock attacks because he's not trying to really hurt them. I can't remember, but he might have like put people's bones back in place. I can't remember. And then there's another really good one where he's fighting his girl's uncle, who's a karate master, but it's a very, very friendly and respectful engagement. And that's one of my favorite fights of all time. I frankly think that the final fight here is sort of forgettable. But it's got other really good fights. This is one of my favorite movies. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have a suggestion for a fight scene that you'd like to see me do, or a book for me to review, or any other topic you'd like me to cover, please consider donating to my Ko-fi account. The link will be in the description. And I had fun. I hope you did too. And I'll see you later. Thank you.